Welcome to Data Processing class with Data Pro Tutor, your go-to place for mastering the basics of data processing in a fun, simple, and practical way.
Whether you're a student preparing for exams or someone looking to build digital skills for today's tech-driven world, you're in the right place.
On this channel, we'll break down data processing concepts step by step, from spreadsheets and databases to computer systems and real-life applications, all tailored to help you understand and succeed.
So, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and let's begin this learning journey together.
This is Data Pro Tutor, and class is now in session.
Alright, welcome to this introduction video and welcome to the channel. I am your Data Pro Tutor. Please do good to subscribe to this channel if you are coming here for the first time, and encourage others to join us here. As you already know, this channel is dedicated to helping you to master the subject of data processing. Data processing is one of the subjects in the senior secondary school, and it is one of the prerequisites for you to be a great student and for you to be accepted in society. Knowledge of data processing will help you to become valuable in your subject or in your profession. It comes from the computer science. It is an aspect of computer appreciation that is widely used all across the length and breadth of the whole world. So if you are into any discipline, any profession, you need a basic knowledge of data processing. And of course, this channel is dedicated to helping you to master the subject. So whether you are learning how to use the computer or you don't have any idea how to use the computer, in this channel you will learn how to become a professional at it. So this video is the introductory video to the subject of data processing, and we will be helping you to master data processing. Our key focus today in this video will be to define data. What is that? You'll be hearing the meaning of data. What does it mean? What is the meaning of data? Another thing is that I'll be teaching you the meaning of information. Information. Following that, what is data processing? What is data processing? And of course, properties of data. What are the things that we need to make our data? What is data? So what are the things that we need to make a good data? All right. And next is we'll be talking about the data processing cycle, and as well as the data processing activities that are included, that are involved in the cycles, and of course the importance of data processing. I don't want to make this video long, so it's possible I break the video into two parts. So whatever we stop in this one, you follow the next video for the complete or the concluding part. So let's get into it right away.
Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and let's begin this learning journey together.
This is Data Pro Tutor, and class is now in session.
So what is data? The term data means any specific basic fact which may be input to some processing system. It means that anything that is input into a system to process is a data. Let me give you an instance now. If you are writing, probably I said go to the street and count the number of children on the street. You understand? What I'm requesting for you is a first-hand data. Maybe you come back and said, I have 10 children on the street now. And I say, okay, we want to use it for a particular decision. That's the essence of data. We use this for a decision, but it has to be processed before it can be used for a decision. You get it now? So we are going to input that into the system. We input it into the system. So for instance, it can be a book, it can be a computer. Yes, we can actually use manual means to process data, and of course we can use the computer, but of course this subject will be talking about how to use the computer. So the term data means that any basic fact, which of course many of us know that it is not meaningful, Yes, it is meaningless. It has not been processed, but it has to be what? Imputed into a system for it to become meaningful when it becomes information. So when we say data, we mean raw facts. You understand? It has not been tested, it has not been processed. So for instance, now your 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 printed materials from the computer, before it was printed, it was first written down in a piece of paper. So that paper that it was being written down into, it's in form of a data. So when we now input into the computer by typing it using the input devices now to type into the computer now, it becomes processed, and when we now print it out, it becomes information. It is now meaningful. You know, when you are writing with your hand, you can make mistakes, you can cancel some things out, but when you put into the computer, even when you make mistakes in the computer, you can easily backspace and nobody will know that you made a mistake. You understand? So what we are saying is that data has not been processed at all. It is raw facts. So for instance, so for data to be processed now, it requires a processing system. And a processing system is one where computations, comparison, and general manipulation of data are done. So before data can become meaningful, before it can be presentable now, before it can be acceptable and be used for decision making, it has to be processed. So like I used the printout as an example, where you are jotting things down in your jotter that you are excited to print out now, you must first put down your jotter. That jotter is a form of a data inside because it has not been processed. All right, so let's move on from here now. So when you now input into the computer is a processing system where we can now do computations, we can now do comparisons, we can now do general manipulation. So data on its own is meaningless. Information is meaningful. Let's move on. So look at it now. Information, on the other hand, is the end result of a processing system. So when I write down with my hand, with a pen, and I type into the computer now, and I print it out now, the one I write with my hands now is data. When I now process into the computer now and I print it out, the one I printed out is the information. Look at it. Said the relationship between data and information is shown in the image below. Look at it now. Data has to be input, as you can see. Data has to be input into the computer. So the computer will now process it and brings out information as output. In fact, everything we discuss in data processing revolves around this simple image. Yes, data has to be input and it has to be processed and to bring out what information as the output. So the information is the meaningful one, is the meaningful stuff. Data is not meaningful. So right now, I think you can just go ahead and tell me differences between data and information. If you know that, put it in the comment section of this video. I will attend to it there. So data is meaningless, information is meaningful. So we need data before we can get information. So we need to input data into the system before we can get information. So let's move ahead now. All right, so what is data processing? Yes, we are talking about data processing. What do we now mean by data processing? It is the task of using a collection of basic facts to produce information. Usually, this data has no value in itself until it is subjected to what? Analysis, validations, and comparisons with other data to produce result. That is information. So when the process of imputing data into a system for us to produce result is what we call data processing. And like I said, this data processing can be done manually. We can use our hands to process data, but of course that is the ancient way of doing things. Now we have the computer now, so what we do is to use the computer now to process information, to process data to get information. So the process, the task, that activity that involves you collecting data, putting it into a system, then bringing it out as information is what we refer to as data processing. So it is the task of using a collection of basic facts to produce information. Like I said, usually the data has no value, it has no meaning. But when it is processed now to become information, it's now valuable. In organizations, there are what we call stakeholders, people who are interested in what is being done in the organization, people who have stake. For instance, now we have the employer, we have the employee, we have the management, we have the customers, we have the accountants, we have the general public, we have the government. All of them are stakeholders in an organization. So, for instance, now the employer, or let me say, okay, for instance, let's say the accountant now needs needs information to produce financial information. The person that is doing accounting or the accountant of an organization needs what? It needs data to produce accounting information. And of course, the management needs the overall data to get what? To be able to make certain decisions in an organization. And of course, the stakeholder, probably the shareholder, people who put in their money for the organization to run, they need what? They need information. So data is very, very important and very, very useful. So we have to process data to get information. For instance, before the government could come out and said, hey, we are going to increase tax by 10 or 20%, they have already gathered what we call data. And through that data, they now process it before they now came up with such information, with such decision. So data processing is very, very essential. And of course, let's talk about the properties of data. What are the things that data must have, that the data must process before we can now say this is a data? Number one, it has to be collected. Yes, data has to be collected. We must acquire that data. We must acquire that data. It has to be collected. So it has to be collected, and also it has to be prepared. So once you collect the data, now the next thing is that you must what? Prepare it. You know, when I say go out to the street and go and look for this, you must gather it that is collected, you capture the data, you prepare, then it has to be presented. So who or which system is present data, whoever or whichever system that is present data, it has to be presented. Then it has to be what? Precise. Data has to be precise. Go and count the number of children on the street. Don't come and bring the number of chairs. No, precise to the point. We have 10 children on the street. You understand? And it has to be complete. It has to be complete. Not that you come and say you add some part of it. No. Before we can use data to make decision as information, it has to be complete and it has to be accurate. It has to be specific. It has to be accurate. Then it has to be purposeful. There must be a reason why we are collecting data. It must not be for fun. It must be meaningful. It has to be what? Purposeful. There must be a reason for it.
It must serve a purpose. There must be a reason why you are demanding or getting the data. And the last one is it has to be assigned. It means that somebody has to be in charge. There must be somebody tasked for getting the data. Somebody must be held responsible for gathering data that will be needed to process, to gather, or to get information. So somebody has to be responsible for that activity in an organization. So those are the 8 data properties or properties of data that you need to master.
This is where I'm going to stop this video for now. In the next video, we are going to continue from there and we'll look into data processing cycle and as well as the importance of data processing. Also, we'll be looking at data processing activities also. So I see you in the next video. Once again, if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe to this channel. We will be creating more videos to help you to master the subject of data processing. I'm your data processing tutor. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.